Late Night Load. The Late Night Load.
Welcome to the Late Night Load.
And what's up, everybody? Webc here, and welcome to the Late Night Load. And down here in the corner is my co-host, the Model Rocketeer. Welcome to the show. We are just back. This is us being back from the I call it summer break, but there's no other way to really slice that one up. As I went on a 3-week break. I've just been working through the whole year, and I was just like, I knew I had this vacation coming up, and I was like, you know what? I think it'll be a good time for us to just plan a big break, and we'll just take this big break, and when we come back, everybody will be refreshed and ready to go and talk about new things. And we kind of got some new things, and we kind of got some stories that I've been following and chasing along as they develop new stuff. So yeah, I got my trusty dusty sidekick over here that's going to help me read some articles to you all while we will look at nothing in particular, because copyrights are all over the world right now. Like, copyright strikes and flags are going hardcore right now. So just so you guys know, any footage here is original, produced by all of us at WebC Official. That'd be the Model Rocketeer, the Leprechaun, or me, WebC himself. And that's what we do, just for our health and your happiness. Get it together and don't be relapsing it. So today we will talk about some of the crazy topics that have been happening around the world. Updates from the Las Vegas UFO sighting, alien landing? I don't know. We got some crazy footage. We got some other things. We'll talk about it. Also, we will be talking about the government C-SPAN page. They've been just talking nonstop about either the president, the last president, or aliens. That's the only thing on C-SPAN right now. You won't see anything else on C-SPAN. You're only going to get those 3 topics, and guess which topic we care about here at WebC Official? I'll tell you. It sure isn't about a little orange man, and it sure ain't about a little old white man. It's about the little green men. Yes, sir. That's what we care about. We don't care about any of that other crap, and we're not taking sides on that crap. Let that crap happen. We're all past that, right? I think by now
exactly.
we've all
gone past that. The only sides I'm on are the sides on my plate. Give me some more sides.
Yeah, some beans, some greens, some ham, some corn, some beans, some greens,
sir.
some ham, some corn. Yes, that is how I feel about it too. That's the only thing. So, but C-SPAN is talking about a whole bunch of stuff. They're also divulging information that they don't know they're divulging to the public yet, that they think they're being slick on how they answer it. Look, when somebody asks a question, your answer should either be a full disclosure or no comment. You should not say that has classified material pertaining to that question. I cannot answer because of classified material. That's not how you answer that question. Okay, this is one of those heavy things that they're giving us a lot of in this C-SPAN record. Is they're saying this a lot, which means there's also going to be a classified debriefing, and then Congress has to make it decide upon themselves whether they're going to take the classified debriefing and make it unclassified and release it to the public. We already know there's a classified briefing now, so you're going to have to, chalk it up with that, right?
Yep.
Oh, my brother's getting married in 64 days. I'm sorry. One of them. I got 1, 2, 3. I got 3 older brothers, and then I've got 2 brother-in-laws. So that's pretty interesting. Brother-in-laws, neither one of them have any kind of relationship status changing. But my brother, I'm adopted into his family, my middle brother is getting married, which is funny. My wife's brothers and my 2 older brothers are both in the same order. They have the same names. It's kind of funny. I thought that was funny. And then I have a little brother. He's younger than me by like 15 days. He's working on it. He's getting himself together. We love him. He watches the show from time to time and tries to make fun of us. He's a great guy. I love it when he does that. I love it when he does that. I'm like, because I'll just look at him and be like, yeah, did you at least like the page or share it? He's like, no. I'm like, well, then shut up. You don't get to talk.
It's a waste of time. You gotta give it a like. Uh,
Or you're lagging. You're not getting all green bars. You're on yellow. It's like you're on
yeah,
brother.
yeah. I don't have the greatest signal here.
Oh, it should be fine. We'll get you figured out eventually here. Get everybody boosters and stuff like that. But so what are you in lodging? Are you on company lodging, or are you got your own place to stay now? What's going on with that, Carrie? Tell us a little bit about what's been going on with the model Rocketeer.
Yeah, so I took everybody knows I took some time off for myself personally, mental health and physical health. And then I started working. I started making a lot of contacts. And then I was speaking to somebody for, over some period of time, and a lot of opportunities came and brought me south. It was a split second decision. And I was like, well, West Virginia's been good to me. And I've had a good opportunity to make good on that, but there is just a lot more. And I've made it to Clearwater, Florida. And everywhere I walk, there is opportunity to be had. It's endless versus, where I lived in West Virginia. It's beautiful, but it's not highly populated, and there's not a great deal of opportunities. I'm fiddling with my phone.
That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead and get yourself situated. Like I said, I'm just pulling up these reports for us to talk about. I'm still waiting on some stuff to come through. The pre-orders from Big Bad Toy Store, the Sentai pre-orders, they're not out yet. They're the August ones that are due in August. Just letting you know, I'm doing all that right now, checking that stuff. So we do have some stuff to talk about on my threads. Next 2 days, apparently I'm getting bad weather here. So don't worry, people. We'll
speaking of weather, it's something that I've learned, coming here has been a really incredible change in environment. I'm originally from Southern California, so I kind of grew up around a lot of this, but this is literally the endless summer. It's been incredibly hot. But within quickly getting here, I was able to pick up a job, and that was able to secure everything that I had going on. So it made everything work out. And now it's a matter of continuing the grind. So I got in at a really nice marina. I work at a private boat club. And here recently, it has been incredibly hot. And the world record was just recently set in Manatee Bay here, just off the Florida Keys, for 101.1 water temperature, which was recently set the highest in 2020 in the Kuwait Bay of 99.7. So that is devastating to understand that seawater like that is getting hot. It's killing coral. It's devastating the fishing. And yeah, where have we come, people? Like, look what's happening. I don't always say that this is our fault, because this is really not our fault. The Earth axis tilts, and it's on an elliptical path. We're a little closer to the sun. Welcome to the heat wave. It'll get colder one day. But yeah, I'm experiencing some interesting wildlife. You're probably losing me unless you're just looking down. Yeah, just interesting wildlife too. I work. It's just right off the Gulf of Mexico, small channel, and there's dolphins that come up into it, and you got to pay attention. There's a lot of boating regulations that I did not previously know. it's a really interesting adventure. Every day is a learning for me. It's like going to school every day, but I get to bring the skills that I have previously to the table and really make an impact. So I love those shades.
Right.
So yeah, I've been able to make a really good impact for the company that I started working for, and it's been really amazing. I fit right in. It's just I got to adapt to the heat. So it's different. I've traded in my work boots and hard hat for sunscreen and sandals.
That's definitely different. Okay, so the first report I got comes from ABC7. This is the southern part. The southern part of the country has ABC7. Up here, it's like ABC5 or something like that. All right. So, anyways, ABC7 reports on the Las Vegas thing that police have issued cameras for the backyard of the victims of this supposed crash and not an invasion, but they're like on a scouting mission or something. So far, from what it sounds like, is it's a big scouting mission. It's like
I'm going to say scouting mission.
So this group of EBINs that are coming down, or EBs, extraterrestrial biological entities, as noted by Miss Linda Moulton Howe. You know, I'm a big fan of hers. She's kind of like one of the big things that sparked me into talking about all this stuff. Back in 2016, I met her in person. It was pretty awesome. I'm getting feedback, Carrie.
Yeah, hold on. I got a computer running. Hold on. Hold on. I got a computer running. Got it.
All right. Then there's other reports. Some saying the NASA says no. NASA's claiming they have no atmospheric record of anomalies in Vegas. They're like, there's nothing happened there. There's no aliens. Nothing happened. That's NASA's answer.
Right. Of course it is.
NASA's kind of like we've come to find that NASA is now
out of the loop.
They're either out of the loop or they're just not looking the right direction at the right time. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, look over here. And NASA goes, where? We're over there?
Yeah, exactly.
Complete wrong spot. You know, I'm not mad at NASA or anything, but, you know, I kind of giggle at them once in a while. I'm like, hey, what's going on, guys? How's it going? Let's see. I think we're just far enough into the show where we can go ahead and run this real quick. If you are watching or listening to us at all, just so you know, here at WebC Official, we have an amazing sponsor over at ClarksvilleHobbyDepot.com. And if you go on over there, they have a whole bunch of things from RC cars to model airplanes and tanks, and to all the diorama stuff that you're going to need to fill your needs. So head on over there to ClarksvilleHobby.com, and if you use that G_Syndicate10 code, it'll let them know we sent you, and that'll be great for everybody, including you. You get some points off on your price or on the end price of your purchase. So we'll be doing great. Yeah. And so that's our sponsor. Let's make sure you heard that right. The late night load is. I got a whole bunch of these, but so the late night load is brought to you by WebC Official. I had one earlier that said we were sponsored by, you know, it got disappeared or something. So anyways, we got this too. It got disappeared. But anyways, and along with that, you know, things are going good, and we're going to be upping some of our advertising ourselves. So if you are in a business or have a business of some sort that doesn't compete with our business that we're already doing, we'll advertise for you.
Absolutely.
Just head on over to our Patreon at WebC Official Patreon, and there's where you can sign up to get access to different kinds of sponsorship advertising, where you become our sponsor and we advertise for you, just like we did for our friends at Clarksville Hobby Depot. We ask that you know, maybe shoot us a message or something, give us a talk, see if you really want to work with us or not, and then head on over to our Patreon. But if you just want to head over to our Patreon because you like what you see and you like what we do, a big thumbs up to everybody for that.
Yep.
So
Click that button.
Yep, click that box and head on over. And there's like 5 different options for sponsorship. They're all pretty good. I think they're all pretty good options. I think so. So head on over there, check those out. And the more sponsors we get, the quicker we'll get to doing things like merch and more advertising for our company. And that's where we really want to go.
That's where we really want to be.
And remember, WebC Official is an official headquarters for Kit Bash Gundam, the Model Rocketeers Wednesday, What's in the Hangar Wednesday by the Model Rocketeer. That show will be coming back. We're in the works. It's kind of like he's been on a writer's strike for a while, and we're still dealing with him on writer's strike, and that's why his show hasn't come back. So anyways, this is our chance to reignite that flame for you as well.
I've been out of the studio, and the studio is now about to get packed up and moved 1,000 miles.
Right? Oh yeah, it's gonna be so awesome. And then other than that, just head on over there to our current sponsor, Clarksville Hobby Depot. Use that G_Syndicate10. Let them know we sent you, and they'll get you a great discount with a whole bunch of great products. It's good stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Go scroll through there, check out it's like walking through a candy store. Check out all the shelves.
It really is.
Click all the buttons and see what they got. It's growing.
Yep.
They've got a brick and mortar store. They've got a great online presence. Scott is a great guy. They've got a great program going over there. So this is our opportunity to support an amazing part of the industry. Keep it going strong, and we need your help.
So if you're ever in the area and you're ever doing stuff, just go on ahead over there and check them out at their brick and mortar store. You can probably, I believe they're locked in on Google now for their brick and mortar stores.
They are.
So you can definitely type that in if you're in the Clarksville area and just type in Clarksville Hobby Depot. And I believe LLC is attached to that name when you search for it on Google. So just remember that and be good to go. But we are moving through. And then let's see.
Leprechaun pop up. Come on, Leprechaun.
Yeah, we're waiting on the Leprechaun to get into the show. Where is he at? Let's see. I put my ringer down. I shot him a message. He's been getting into things with his work too, which is great. It's just his work is a demanding kind of job right now because you got to
He's changing the face of that store. He's rebuilding a store. He's got a
So he's definitely working on something it's a giant project to overhaul.
Speaking of Leprechaun, something that you guys have in common that I'd like to interject is me and my significant other have decided to take on Magic the Gathering.
Sweet. Magic the Gathering is awesome in all of its facets. I recommend getting used to the normal play style first and then venturing off into some of the other play formats, because as what they consider, or the geek term noob, when a noob in Magic, we don't recommend you stretch your brain too far into it right away. It's like, look, first learn the mechanics, learn to play the 60 card deck format, just what we call standard. Learn to play standard, and then you'll have a great time evolving from there. My player format in Magic the Gathering is Commander. I've talked to you about that several times, that it's a totally different. You have to have a large collection of cards to really get into playing Commander, or else you'll be constantly buying cards. If you're playing Commander, you're gonna be like, oh, I need that for this deck, or oh, I need that card for this deck, or you'll constantly see cards when you're looking at Magic cards. You'll be like, oh, how come I don't have that one for this deck? But when you play a standard deck, it's a little more simplified to the set that deck is about, or whatever. So you can get all the mechanics still, but it's not as complicating in your brain right away. It's definitely gives you some time. Right now, I'm playing and I'm working on this meta deck I built from the Lord of the Rings with Legolas. Let's see if I can get that get that pulled up and I'll show you guys. We can actually just chit chat about magic for a little bit. How's that sound? I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I was curious because I know that you're going to be my go-to, and then talk to Leprechaun. But yeah,
Leprechaun. Leprechaun is awesome.
2 decks in it. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Those starter decks those I think are usually the best for opening and stuff like that. For beginners, because they come with the little fold-out thing that teaches you about the phases and everything, and explains how to go back and forth between the two players. Try again. What happened? My phone. I'm trying to load. It's just being difficult. I'm here. Don't worry.
You're good.
Yep. We'll just load what I want it to load.
So yeah, I was excited to hear about your Hobbytown visit in Ohio.
Okay, yes. So
Hobbytown in Clearwater, Florida. So it's really cool. I was able to make contact with those people.
Nice.
So yeah, so I'm going to see where that's going to take me if I can pop in there and get involved maybe in the model, like their model club, right? Building models. There's a couple of other hobby shops within a 5-mile radius. So I've got like 4 total.
Nice. So with one of that is I do want to put together like a little Web C who goes to type of video. But then my wife kind of brought it up to me and she was like, well, how would you sponsor feel about that? And I was like, I like cringed at myself for a moment. Like, yeah. So I did go to Hobbytown for the first time. It was my first time ever going to a Hobbytown. And I know they're big all over the country. But here where I live, we don't have a Hobbytown. We have a different company that's just like a Hobbytown, but it goes by a different brand name. And which is cool. It's a cool company and everything. And I like them too a lot. They're called Hub Hobby. And people get them confused when I talk about them because they're like, are you talking about Hobby Lobby? And they're like, no, I'm not talking about Hobby Lobby. And I'm not talking about Hobbytown. I'm talking about Hub Hobby. And they're like, well, that's weird. Do they have a website? And I'll be like, yeah, they have a website and blah, blah, blah. But so yeah, I just don't want to like make it look like I'm advertising for a company that isn't even paying us when we do have a company that's competition to them paying us to advertise. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I want to be like all excited about my little adventure. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think Scott will be too happy about it.
I thought about that because I talked to the guy. They were there's another one. It's like Jackson Brothers Hobby. And they started out building motorcycles, like choppers, and there's one in their hobby shop.
Cool.
And it died during the pandemic, so they got into RC cars, but they have some Gundams. So I was talking to them, and that's how I learned more about the clubs and stuff. But yeah, that was really interesting, and that was my first real interaction. It made me think of Scott because I was like, damn, I wanted to try to do something maybe for them, or if anything, just get involved and buy parts. Or supplies, but our sponsor, of course. It was kind of a, like I said, that razor's edge. Kind of what do we do? So it's just nice to have somebody buy it, so you can just get some supplies. We can do tool reviews for sure, stuff like that.
But, so it's for me. I definitely that's where I wanted. Like I had to pull back a lot from that, being like, I can't just run out there and be like, hey, but so and that's why it's totally cool that we have Scott and Scott is with us for the long haul. So
we
want Scott to know in so many ways that we're really on his
we love
team.
You, man. We appreciate you.
Exactly.
That chance so we could see you grow. Like I said, we went from just online and talking to he's got a brick and mortar store and it's gonna grow still yet again.
Exactly. So I'm super stoked about that. So happy. But the trip was great though. I want to be close, and that wasn't the only reason why I went on the road either. Oh, you got the little buddy.
I did. I brought both of them. I put them in the car, grabbed my deodorant, and I was out.
It's a man and his 2 cats.
Yep, literally.
Awesome. Along with that though, the trip was great. We did tons of great things and stuff. So let's see if I can just share. Oh yeah, I can just share a window. Maybe.
So I know you made a 1,400-mile round trip, so there's a lot to see. Both trips, were they the same trip for to and from, or
Yeah,
did you
it
make a
was
little?
long. It was a big. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Documents. Okay, so yeah, I can pull up a few things here. So let's see, how does this work? Um, hold on. We'll just see what it opens in, and then maybe I can push to the next. Oh yeah, So I can do that. Yeah, we can definitely get this done. Let's go. Let's be about it. We'll fast forward through some of the things that aren't as needing to be looked at, but we'll look at some of these things. These things are cool. All right, so here we go. Let's see. We'll put us here, that there, right, and then we'll get rid of that lower third real quick. And that'll blow it up. All right, everybody see what's on the screen? I can see it, you can see it, we can see it.
Yeah.
All right, so here I am. So this is just, this is the car and just some of the scenes. Here's us actually just rolling through. it was like that song like matched the moment perfectly.
Merga.
Yep. So this is one of the Great Lakes. It's a great lake.
Wow.
It's huge. Yeah.
So that big water, I'm learning about the big water.
Yeah, the big water. So this is our cabin. So our cabin was pretty neat. Some of them are like this. Some of them are a bit different. But they like had this one was cool because it had a separate bunk room for the kids to be in.
Oh, cool.
Which was nice. It kind of gave us a break from my kids snoring. So here's like a big panoramic that I took of it. So that's, and let's see, can I read this? Yes. There we go. All right. Everything's still there. Everything's still working. Are you still there, Kerry?
Yep, I'm here.
I just want to make sure, like, everything I'm looking at. So here's a different cabin. This cabin was a little bit different. Super exciting though. Oh no, I didn't want to do that.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, I see how.
No. So, all right. So, I don't know why I took pictures of the blinds. This is an airplane. I was just messing around with my camera to see how far I had to zoom in to see things. So here's the whole family, just doing fire marshmallows. Classic American thing to do. I don't know if anybody else around the world does this, sits around the fire and roasts things, but that's my whole family.
Sitting around the fire is a pretty ancient thing. I think roasting marshmallows, that might be a Western thing, but
right. Some people might roast shrimp. Some people might roast other things.
right.
Yeah. So, here's the picture of the woods we were in. Like, this is where we parked our car for the night. It was just like a cool picture. I was like, yeah, let's take that picture. So we took a couple of them. My wife took a couple too. But then, this is the bird that woke us up. So our first night, or no, this is our second night camping, and the locals decided that we needed to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to that noise.
Oh yeah.
So that's what they did. I was like, all right, there we go. Like, wake up, fuckers.
Yeah.
So, that was pretty awesome. That's all we're gonna show. We're just showing videos. I thought we were showing the pictures. What's going on with the pictures? All right. So that's it. That's pretty much it. We we drove through Cleveland. We drove into so the hobby town I stopped at was over in Toledo. Uh, the Toledo was cool. It was smaller than Cleveland, but still cool. It was still Toledo to me was like half of Minneapolis. That's what it felt like. You could drive from one side of Toledo to the other in 20 minutes. It was crazy. I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. So yeah, that definitely felt like half of Minneapolis because you can go from one side of Minneapolis to the other side of Minneapolis, like one suburb to the other,
Uh-huh.
in about 40 minutes, about 40, 45 minutes. So it's Minneapolis just a little bit bigger. And so that was fun. Toledo's a mining town, I guess. They're a big mining town. So they had quarries. All their outskirts were just quarries all over
Oh,
around
wow.
Toledo. I was like, that's cool. It was very different than what I'm used to seeing. So that was cool, just like to see how another town thrives. Because like here in Minnesota, in the Twin Cities, we have grain mills all up and down the river that we run the city off of. That's how the city was originally built up, was through our grain mills, and that's how we created an economy for ourselves in Minnesota. And everybody bought our grain products
Yeah.
like gold medal flour and Pillsbury. They
Yeah.
came here to Minnesota first and used the Mississippi River power to grind all their grains and stuff as they grew them. So that's what was really cool about Minnesota. And so going to Toledo and learning a little bit about Toledo's past and seeing that they were a big mining facility, even the campsite we went to, they sold bags of rocks you could buy from the Toledo mines of like rare precious rocks and stuff that came out of those mines. So my daughter's bag was like a $20 bag of rocks that she got to wash on site or whatever. Like they did like a panning thing or whatever. They had like a machine that you do, and she did that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And so she did all that. That was my son saw it, and he's like, oh, I want to get one. So he went and bought like a cheaper bag, and his cheaper bag had quite a few of the same rocks as my daughter's did, but my daughter actually got like some ruby flakes and stuff in hers as well. So that was I was like, okay, that's why hers was a little more expensive.
Yeah.
And then other than that, we camped in New York. Like as soon as we crossed the border, 10 minutes after crossing into New York, we were like stopping at camp when we got there. It was so fun. Camping in the New York mountains was pretty crazy. They have like rules and stuff over there. Like if you hear thunder in the clouds while you're in the mountains in New York, you can't go swimming. Apparently, I didn't know that. That's something new. Apparently, because you're like really close to the clouds, you know, you get struck real fast.
Yeah.
But so that was one of those weird things. The guy who like owned the guy who operated the campsite that we were renting our spots from, he was like, yeah, state law says you can't. You got to wait 15 minutes after hearing thunder or a lightning strike to go back into water. State law. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like, hey, I'm gonna follow the rules. Um, but I found a walking stick. I got a walking stick now. It's over here behind me. It's just sitting right there. You can see it. That's my walking stick.
Yeah. That's
So
stick.
it's a pretty heavy duty stick. It's a lot bigger and thicker than my than other sticks and stuff. So I like my stick. It's my stick, and it's great. Actually, it really did help. It made certain things on my trip easier to do. The stick helps me in and out of vehicles a lot. Like because the car that we were in was a Mustang, so it's like really low to the ground. So like I would have to turn out of the Mustang and like I would have to grab both sides of the car and like lift myself out of the car. So when I got the stick, I was able to just like put the stick out and turn and like use the stick to pull myself out. And it was way easier, way better. And then just walking around, being able to stand and walk around with the something to put my weight on to get off my ankles so I wasn't falling over and shit all the time. That stick saved me, already. I felt good. So I walk around with it now. Even, whenever I go outside and go do things, I walk with my stick. My stick. I'm sorry. I'm just It's a big thing. But I got it on vacation, so that's one of those things where it's like it's got a sentimental value besides the fact that this thing helps me walk. Also, good things about it. There are a bunch of different sticks that I could have bought, but
you know what it's
that
made
was the
of?
one I
What's it
bought.
made of?
It's made of a maple branch.
Okay.
It's a very hard maple branch, and it's got lots of bird's eye in it, so it looks really cool.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was stained red. It's got like a red stain to it. It's got a cord wrapped and a leather strap. Super awesomenesses. I'm super happy for it. Then so camping in New York was super fun. We made it up to upstate New York, just north of the capital there, like 30 minutes north of the capital. And that's where we stayed for like 4 days at a hotel while the wedding was happening. And because we weren't like a part of the wedding party or anything, we had some time to go venture around and stuff. And we we fucked off around New York for 4 days. It was pretty fun. We went and checked out one of the oldest museums in America. It was established in 1888, and it has artifacts from Native Americans unknown to Native Americans Iroquois, Mohawk, Revolutionary War, all the way up to World War One.
Wow.
So that's what they have all inside this museum. And we went and we checked it out. We had a great time. The kids got to do like this little treasure hunt map upstairs in the upstairs of the museum. They had to like run around and like check off found an item. Then they'd read the next thing and they'd get to run and check that item off once they found it and stuff. So they had a blast doing that. That was amazing. We got everybody some gifts and stuff. I got a solid copper kaleidoscope from the museum.
Really?
I'll show it to you. Yeah,
Oh,
I'll be right back.
yeah. This is gonna be good. I'm excited. Oh, what an adventure, Mike. Sounds really good.
Go. You little fuckers.
Oh, the cats. I hear the cats are in trouble. They destroyed the house while you were gone. Little WWE wrestling at Mike's house. Oh, my little baby cat's being all lovey. Oh, she just can't get enough. Freya, off the computer. She wants to chew on the corner of her nose. Oh man, no. Be glad for everybody to stop by. Really appreciate you guys. I'm glad to be here. I got to go get my shades on.
I bet one of my kids with their grubby little paws ran off with it. Man, and it's so cool too. It's like about this long and about like that round, and it's just all copper. It looks like it's brass when you first look at it, and then it's copper though. Doesn't have any brass to it. And it's got old glass. It has like old world glass in it to make the kaleidoscope. It's not like new beads or anything.
Oh, gotcha.
So anyway, I'm super excited about it. Next time I find it, I'll show it to you.
Next week we'll find.
But it made it all the way back home. I know it made it home.
Maybe we'll be able to find it for tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sweet. Oh hey, we've got return customers. That's awesome. Hey, everybody out there in internet world, by the way, thanks for stopping in and watching. And just so we get it in there one more time before we get out of here, go check out our sponsors at ClarksvilleHobbyDepot.com. Discount code G_syndicate10 to get 10% off, $25 or more on your purchase. And you guys make us awesome. So, you supporting Clarksville Hobby also supports us giving you something to watch for 20 minutes a day. Or you can just put us on, whatever, and you can download us and listen to us later if you want. I believe that's play us on repeat.
Spread us on post.
But this is our episode 45, and we are back from a long, I know, lots of episodes for this show.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were going to make it to 52 or not, but here we are. We're getting there. We'll make it to 52 before the end of the year, so that's pretty awesome. So yeah, we're here. We're having fun. Who's in the chats? Anybody chatting us up? If you want to chat us up, go ahead. We'll
shoot us a message.
We can also throw that in there. Yeah, we got messages and questions. We're here. So yeah, come in, hang out.
Or let's drop a link of something that you find that is absolutely incredible that we need to know about. We'll share that if you got something good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let us know what's going on with your life, what's going on with you. Tomorrow is the hobby show, and we'll be talking about all sorts of hobby stuff. And just a quick little preview of what I actually got going on in my hobby room right now. I showed the model rocket already.
This is awesome.
I got this going on. I can't really show you anything because I haven't done any painting yet, but the whole car is ready for paint.
Really? Okay.
So all I gotta do is just.
But real quickly, without giving too much information away, this is a super high skill level model kit. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's a skill level 4. Most people only ever encounter a skill level 2 model kit at most stores.
Maybe 3.
A skill level 3 is that's pushing it for most people. People don't really encounter something like that. So to give you an idea, what makes a skill level 2 different than others is when you're building your frame.
Cool.
So here's a part of the frame, like this. That's one part, but then they completely separate it again, and then here's another part of that same frame section. So they eventually interlock like this or something when they're glued together. So the general purpose is there's a lot more detail added, and for this one, a big part of the level 4 is they give you water slides that are insane. I have never experienced water slides for a car like this in my life. I've got them out here right here because I've been looking at them. Every time I go to work on the car, I look at these slides and I get a little intimidated. But
ooh, good. Those are good though. Dang.
Look at these dashboard and side panel pieces. And look at those little Mustangs and.
Yep. That is
so,
dude. This is gonna be epic.
So that's what I'm saying is they give you so much. So, yeah, I'm super excited about the build, and yeah, it won't take me long. I'm one of those people these car builds are super fast for me, and that's why I don't always find them to be super challenging. This one, however, it's pretty big. I will admit there are a lot more runners on this car than I was expecting there to be. I was only expecting 5 runners, and I ended up getting, I think I told you 12. There's 12 runners.
Damn,
2 of them are chrome. Yep, 2 of the runners were chrome. One of the runners is clear, and then the rest were all white. Super nice. And then let's see. Here we go. Here's the diagrams are upgraded as well. So everything's a lot more. This diagram is way more involved than anything I really can say.
A Revel model kit, correct?
Yep. Yeah. I'm surprised, but
because we heard. I thought a little while back that they were doing some revamping to their molds, bringing back some old kits, and they were going to try to update, like you said, the instruction manuals, trying to revamp the hobby, trying to make it more legible for people.
This
is a very high skill, but it makes it really nice, really detailed, small details.
Oh yeah, they did a really good job in like especially like explaining what all those little dots and stuff mean on each page as you're going through. Like those are like telling you what tool, what you're gonna need for that process. It's is what they're telling you. So they give you the full rundown on they almost, I don't want to say the word, but they do almost idiot proof the build in that sense. It's
Right
like,
on.
here, you're going to use glue, paint, and a hobby knife for this section.
Right.
That's the only thing you need to work on this part of the kit. Okay. And then they'll be like, now you're going to paint it. And then they have the labels for the paint right there for each part as they show you what part you're grabbing and stuff. So you can just like, you can do it like I'm doing, where I'm going to paint everything black and then hand detail all the details and stuff after I do everything black, because that's kind of how I do it. And then I'm going to tape off some of the black and do this blue I made. I made a special blue. Oh shit. I made a special blue for the kit. My screen saver came on. That's weird. All right. So yeah, I made it's a dark blue. I have it right here. Hold on. I made this blue special for this build.
Ooh,
So it's a really dark blue.
I like that. Metal flake, is that metal flake in it?
Nope. It's
Okay.
it's gonna be
It's the
I'll have the choice of leaving it matte finish, or I can hand polish it
ooh.
to high gloss. So I got options. Yep.
Get a little mint.
I'm not super right, but I also have like, I was planning on doing like an iridescent top coat for it, like a light blue or something, because I've got these. So I've got that dark blue, and then I've got bright silver racing stripes. All the stripes for it and everything are bright silver. So I was going to do that, and then I was thinking if I threw an iridescent over it, it'll make the silver stripes look tone shift,
Yeah.
where they shift from silver to light blue. And I was like, that'll look cool, I think, over that really dark blue, having like a light blue tone shift with it. It'll bring out the midnight color real nice. So that's what I'm going for. The interior is going to be black with the blue, and then I'm going to put all the decals on proper and everything. So no custom cutting or anything. I'm just going to put the decals on proper. I'm pretty good with model cars, so like I said, once I really get into the project and down to painting everything, it'll be good. I have like small things glued together that, the engine block and the heads, it's all going to be the same color. So
Yeah.
put it all together now, type of a thing. So I got that put together and ready to go. But, so we'll talk more about I'll get way more into detail with everything tomorrow when I start really actually like putting things on clips, and I'm going to start recording me doing the painting process and stuff a lot more. You guys will see that live more too. So be prepared for that. Whoever's kicking it with me on Friday night, they're going to have to be the conversationalist and stuff, and keeping the conversation going while I'm painting. So that's going to be the thing, because my brain I just drift off into paint land sometimes and forget I'm even on a computer, or I'm even live broadcasting or anything, and I'll look over and be like, oh man, look at you guys. So those are the things I have to deal with. Oh man. And there's still no leprechaun. Where is that guy? We're gonna figure that guy out. Let's see. I got a message from somebody else. Just one of my good friends from a long time ago. I was just hitting him up about some things yesterday, and he didn't get back to me until today. He's a little slow to get back to people. I still love him though. So love you, Rob. You're not a slow person. You just don't like answering your phone. I get it.
Now we know, Rob, you're on blast.
Yep, Scott's over here listening to us. Hey, Scott. Yep. Don't worry, we've pitched for you. We got you covered. And then so I was pretty intrigued to hear that the police were super investigating the Las Vegas incident,
Yeah, that is
but
really
other
interesting. Like they
like
have no dog in that fight. It's just another way to find an avenue into, you know, prying another eyeball looking around, and with they're probably working on a network, right? They've all got this figured out.
right,
You have eyeballs in the one position, man. Big brother.
right. So, like I said, all the other articles I'm picking up on aren't like they're not giving much good stuff. Uh, but some of the footage that I saw was crazy. Like this thing had a hand, and then it became a blade, and then it became a hook, and I was like, what? So, and then this thing, like it picked up. Uh, what they picked up is it looked like it was wearing like a condom all over its body, like I don't know, um like an 80s condom. I don't know how else to say it. Like,
Yeah, some kind
you
of
get those
protective
kind, you
suit.
play with, you fill it with Coca-Cola and you tie it off and throw it over a bridge or something onto a highway.
Right.
Okay. Well, the way the Coca-Cola looks inside the condom is kind of what these creatures look like, to give you an understanding of my visual that I see every time I look these things up and stuff through the infrared camera that picked them up, saw them as these anthropomorphic things, but it just looked like Pepsi inside of a condom taking the shape of an alien that could be a mantis type of thing. Like it could have mantis kind of arms and shit. So my initial first thought is maybe they're not tall grays, and maybe that's the reason why this new group is hiding, is because we were told, when we were doing research and stuff at the beginning, after Hellier, some of the research we were looking into told us that the insectoids have been trying to get to Earth, and they haven't been very successful.
Right.
So maybe if that's one of their scouting ships, like I think, it made it through whatever blockade that they have around us. Like there's some sort of blockade stopping certain species
Right.
from fucking with us, right? Because some species, they just come here and like they take over, right? Or they would announce themselves and be like, "We're your gods," and we'd be like, "Yeah, right," and we'd start shooting.
Right.
That's what'll happen. Like this next time they come around, there's some shooting.
Yeah.
I'm sure
There's
that
gonna be. Yeah.
we're going to be doing some shooting.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like these bugs, they're coming in slowly because
Starship Troopers,
the
people, get ready.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I think they're making it in because their technology is starting to get better,
Yes.
or they're starting to send the better technology to get through whatever the blockade's technology
Or
is.
this just came to mind. Or the Earth as a whole, right? As a world community, is in such turmoil. Look at the countries we're fighting. Maybe there's such turmoil that there's a possibility of taking advantage of our attention in other places. There's a lot of things that are going on, a lot of money being thrown around. What about
I can.
what about this BRICS thing we were hearing about, the currency?
All right, so we could touch on that. I tried, like I said, we try to stay out of political things, but
Yeah,
so
this is kind of important though because it involves.
all right, all the communist countries in the world, all the big communists, the top five, as it is,
Yeah,
the top five communist countries in the world
yeah, no name.
decided, hey, we're sick of playing ball with America. We want to create our own currency now, and we're going to use our currency amongst ourselves. Okay. And then we'll trade our value and America's value just like America does with the euro. We'll trade the value. So that's all it is. People are going, oh no, it's just gonna destroy the dollar. No. It's just another money system introduced by a bunch of people who don't want to do business with the dollar.
Right.
That's all it is. But in order to do business with America, America's going to go, we're not touching the brick. you have to buy into the dollar again to do business with us if you want something from us.
Right.
Or if you want us to purchase from you, you have to let us purchase in the dollar still. And America's going to be flat out about that. And then the the people who are running the BRICS system is going to go, well, we created this for no fucking reason. It's a sham.
Right.
So that's how I feel about it. It's going to be pointless because America's going to go, no, we won't trade with you. We can trade without you.
Right.
You know.
Well, the truth
they'll be
we
pretty simple.
manufacture what we don't need to trade, like steel, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We just need to create new jobs. Mr. Biden, make some jobs.
Yeah. I agree with you on that too. I have this whole theory on why do we continuously create these land protection acts that prevent the people who own this land from building it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we create these land protection acts and we stop people, even Native Americans, from being able to use this land. Well, that land, man, just use it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like there's people all over the world who are going, why are we saving land? America per person has the lowest density of humans on land.
Yeah.
Per person.
Yep.
But we have like the highest amount of land per anything, really, and nobody's talking about that. Nobody says anything about that.
And the diversity of the terrain from coast to desert, mountains to
exactly,
resources.
Exactly.
We are
tons and tons of resources.
We are the
we definitely are the gold mine, and Mexico along with us. Yeah. Mexico is a gold mine as well, but
Canada.
The whole thing is Mexico's government let things get too far out of hand.
Yeah.
And so right now there's no way to create any kind of commerce structure in Mexico because the cartels will just run it to the ground as soon as they try to establish any kind of commerce to create that kind of business for the resources.
Now, if we get smart heads into the cartel, we could turn the cartel into a really worldwide functioning, legit organization.
Well, the issue is the cartel doesn't want to do that because then there's no money in that.
Right.
There's no money in building a military. Yeah, like they've already got the army to protect their assets.
Right.
It's every 13-year-old little boy they rip from their parents in every country like that. That's what saddens me about the situation is that the children are being pulled into it as well.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I feel like you could do your business without children.
Absolutely.
You know, there's plenty of adults. Just stop dealing with the children.
Women and children alone.
Yeah, you know, don't make them deal your business or do with your business. You know, that's the only thing I have to say about it. Hey, you know, I grew up in a very impoverished neighborhood around gangs and violence and all that stuff. I ain't saying now, you know, don't do your thing. I'm just saying, like, there's a line, like where I grew up in the ghettos that I grew up in stuff. The children, not so much the women, but the children, they were protected. They came first. People didn't just open gunfire while children were around. Nowadays, people just act crazy and they don't even care. Yeah, you know, and I just feel like that in that whole absence of the morality of things is, you know, even a criminal should have their morals. They should have a set of line morals, and I feel like children should be that one set line where nobody should cross, like in any kind of criminal type of way. You shouldn't, and it's all different though, you know, on how you see things and stuff, and everybody's different opinion. And so with the BRICS system, with these communist countries running it, what happens is, so the distribution of wealth isn't going to go as planned. That's going to be one of the biggest problems. They're going to have this big issue with distribution of wealth because, well, if you're issuing a new dollar, why does this politician get to have way more money than me? Because we're in a communist society. like China, was because they're one of the people who are buying into BRICS, right?
Yeah.
So they're a society. Now they're going to go, why is this politician going to get so much money and I'm not? Okay, so when everybody gets dealt out their little bit of BRICS money, whatever it is, they call them BRICS dollars or BRICS cash or whatever we can call it. Whenever you get that, if you're in a socialist country, are you going to get the same amount of those values that the politician who chose for you to be using that valued dollar or whatever, that currency, are you going to get the same amount for his job that he got for his job that you get for yours? Are you going to get the same amount? Meaning, is your salary going to be the same as the politician's salary? Because of communism means that everybody who does a job gets paid the same for that job. That's the goal of communism. It's to prevent people from having more money than the poorest person. It's prevent the poorest person from becoming the richest person. So Elon Musk types don't exist. This is why this is what they're trying to do in communist countries. And then usually they have to make a whole bunch of laws to prevent people from becoming wealthy. And that's how communist countries are run. Now this dollar, so when you take away all the money that everybody already has in this communist country, you take all that money away, and then you give them this new currency, are you going to distribute equally? Because that's like one of my concerns about how that works. Because if you do that, then your dollar has no value, whatsoever. Because then you're not even putting I worked with my skill for this labor and my skill is better than somebody else's skill. So now I can't even compete for work because I don't know. It's just a horrible fucking, I hate communism and I hate fascism too. I don't think corporations should have free roam either. I think they should have limitations as well. That's all. I truly do. I believe Bill Gates should not own farmland. He's a computer tech genius. He is not a farmer, right? Like, so I feel like that's my disconnect on fascism. Is like Bill Gates buying up all the farmland. He's being a fascist for some reason.
Yeah.
We should pay attention to this. Why does he own so much of America's farmland? That's a bit concerning.
Yeah. True.
People don't like hearing about it or talking about it, but that's the gist of it. Then we get other things like, in communism, they're like, oh, well, we have universal health care. No, you don't. It's not universal health care. It's the lottery. It's healthcare lottery is what it's called. Some of our friends in Canada have clearly explained that you get a number and you have to go home and wait until they call your number. And they'll call you on your phone and say your number has been called. You got to rush in and you got to drop everything you're doing and rush in to the doctor. Even if you no longer have the fucking flu, you got to rush in because if you don't, you'll get penalized for not making it to that appointment. That sounds messed up. That's like, the lottery. It's all the same. Ain't shit changed. Just a big game. Fuck your feelings. Taxes change. I'm sorry. The lottery. Look it up. It's a great song. It's real. They're like those guys knew what they were talking about. I could just talk forever and ever though, man. And I'm super excited to be back on the camera and back working, and I've got so much shit to talk about. So yes, if your question was, do I know anything about the BRICS and what that shit's all about? Yeah, I studied that. I looked it up I just stayed real quiet about those things when I'm studying them and stuff.
Because it came across my desk thinking, I was like, man, what's this going to mean for the future? And I was like, I'm going to ask Mike tonight and see what he thinks. Just a little,
my opinion of it is, it's just another currency, and
a trend.
America's gonna bully them and tell them we won't spend in your currency, and you're gonna have to accept American dollars if you want to do business with us any direction. With or us buying from you or you buying from us, you have to take American money, and then that pisses them off because now they have this currency that they're fucking making their people use, that their people have to go and exchange to do business with us. That's the problem. That's where the disconnect's going to be for all of their people, not Americans. We're not going to have this problem because we're not going to be the ones to go and make that money change. I'm not changing my dollar into another currency.
Right.
Like, it's like, I just don't feel like that's it's so laughable, right? It's like, no, we've got the dollar. The dollar works.
Yeah,
you know,
productive.
No. So, because it's like, oh well, they're talking about right now the BRICS is valued at 5 times the dollar, right? Well, the fucking Bitcoin's valued at 10,000 times the dollar.
Right.
You know, my brain's just like, yeah. At this point, that's not really what matters. I don't think. I think your time and the value you place on your time matters. And that's why you're like, dude, I'm hustling, I'm grinding all the time. That's the reply you always give me recently. And what's my reply? Cool, do that. Hey, cool. Your time is valuable. Make sure you're making the best of your time, dude. Like, if you see the money is being made and that's what you got to get going, fucking do it. Don't worry about putting me to the side because I'm not. My feelings aren't hurt at all. I know you're gonna come back around and you're gonna find some time to sit down and chit chat, catch up, and all that stuff, right? So I'm just, same thing. And I feel like me investing my time into this project we have going is a good thing. Like, I feel like that's where my time is well invested. Like, I also raise my children. The time I spend raising my children, I feel is well invested, right? Eventually they'll become little smart people that run off into the world and tell them some shit that they didn't know. Like my son, man, he's just blows me away. So, with him being so smart and everything, it's just super stokes. I have such a blast with him. Just the conversations me and him get into are hilarious.
It's always a good thing. My son's going to be 16 this year. We had a really good conversation. With the big onset of this move and a big change in my life. It was incredible to hear him say he was proud, and a lot of things that he's been seeing me go through. He was like, I've been watching you, Dad, because you're doing good. So that was really a lot.
Nice. Well, yeah, and hey, all of us have to, take those steps back and realize we're making some choices that need to be corrected. And I've even been in that position, man. It brought me to where I am today, and it was a good feeling. It's still a good feeling to know that it brought me where I am today, and I'm super happy. Everything, the good choices I've made brought me to meeting good people like you who have helped feed more positivity into my life. I thrive now on positivity. I have so this is what I wanted to talk about tonight too. With that, hold on, let me do this real quick.
Go for it.
So thriving on positivity, and I wanted to talk about that. I went on this trip. It was a 2-week long trip. This was the first trip I have ever taken out of my home, out of my state, out of my city in 10 years. It's been a decade since I've gone anywhere. All right. What's kept me here in Minnesota is a bunch of negative things. So this trip, when I finally went on this trip, I decided that I wasn't going to let any of those negative feelings about traveling or being away from my safety zone affect me. And I decided that I was going to force positivity out of myself and make every situation we encounter while we're on our trip a positive situation, a positive outlook, a positive no matter what. And for the whole trip, it was an amazing trip. It was as positive as I made it. It just was. If anything felt like it was going south or if something had upset me, like there was 2 times where I got a little upset, but I approached the situation as, no, I'm going to retreat away out of respect for the people involved. It's
Yeah.
not for me to get mad or upset. It's for me to go, no, I was asked to do something. I'm just going to do what I was asked to do. I'm going to mind my own business. And when it's time to go or it's time for something to happen, let me know. I'll be here doing me, minding my own business. And instead of blowing up or making it a big funky deal, I chose to redirect it and make sure I kept it positive. Okay, even after the whole fact of everything, my, the situation, my mother-in-law felt like she needed to tell me and ask me, don't say anything negative about this during this moment. I was like, hold on. I was like, I'm not upset. I'm not mad, and there's no reason for me to say anything. So we're good. We're the party's great. We're gonna be good. Don't worry about me. Like, I and she just, because she knows how I am. She's been my mother-in-law for 15 years. She knows who I am. Okay, she knows I'm a very uh straight to the point type of person, and I don't BS about it. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Quit fucking around, or whatever. She knows I'm that person, so she knows that I wouldn't hold back even during a situation like, a wedding or any kind of event. She knows that I wouldn't. Uh, I'm not that type of person, But I told her, I said, I don't have any reason to say anything negative or bring down this day. This is not my day. This is somebody else's day, and I was invited to enjoy their day, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not, negativity is not gonna creep in here. No, we're gonna have a great night, and everybody's gonna have a great night. No, there's no negativity, and that's how I decided to, address that whole thing. And then the next day, I just really wanted to be left alone after the wedding and stuff. But as a family member who gifted a gift to the married couple, I was expected to be there for this. Some families have this ceremony where you open gifts the next day after the wedding and stuff, and the family is there and they take pictures and everybody has a little snack or something. It's weird. I never heard of this until I married into my wife's family. So this is why I'm saying some families do this, some don't. Some people just open the gifts and thank the people. Uh, so, anyways, afterwards, I just didn't feel like being social after the event of opening the gifts and stuff happened. So I just excused myself, and my wife comes up to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. I just spent the last 12 days of my life around people. I'm usually at home in an empty house by
Right.
myself with my thoughts, or talking to people on the internet by myself, not really
Right.
getting a lot of feedback all the time, but still
Right.
just talking.
Being in that
And
energy, like it next to
yeah,
somebody
yep. So I just
physically.
I just told my wife, I was like, no, I just needed to be by myself. I'm sorry. No negative, nothing. No, no reason. I'm not upset with anybody. And she goes, okay, well, I was like, let the kids play with their cousins. You go socialize, and I'm just gonna be here. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm not mad. Anyways, it went good. It went great. I kept that whole positivity attitude all the way until we got home. I'm still being positive and everything. I'm still in a great mood. Still happy. Um, I don't have any drawbacks from that. There's no but. There's, what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
this is the answer. This is what made my trip so amazing, is keeping that positivity. So like, when I look back at these pictures as I do these video edits that I'm doing and stuff, and I'm making a whole bunch of cool, sweet little clips and stuff, 2-3 minute clips and all sorts of stuff out of all this footage I got from being on the road. I'm doing all this, but every time I go to working on this stuff, just my mind lights up with happiness that I did all those things, and that all those things felt good to do, and they felt good not only in the moment, but they now feel good here in the after moment too. It doesn't feel like I got that moment of pleasure. Now I feel like a dirty little boy for having a good time. You know what I mean? I don't feel that kind of there's none of that, right? So it felt good. So that's what I wanted to share with everybody. When you go out into this world, maybe stop looking for the negative in the person that's in front of you and start looking at how you can encourage positive out of everything around you.
Oh, I like that, dude. That's classic.
Because positivity, it's contagious if you really want to know the truth. Positivity is contagious and it's can be good. It can be good for you. It can be healthy.
Yep.
I like it. I like it a lot.
If you embody it, if you embody that, I like to see it as gratitude. I embody it as gratitude. I'm happy about my life. I'm just grateful and exude that to other people. Try to push that out. Like you said, it's contagious. You fill them up a little bit, they'll go out and do it again and do it again. After a while, like now you've been doing it for a few days in a straight, it's all you know. It kind of becomes all you start to do. And when you do have a day where you slip into it, you're like, ooh, you know exactly how to handle that situation.
Yeah. And I mean, we always talk about be positive here on the shows and stuff that we do and, all that stuff. But that for me was just that carryover enforcement of this is if you continue that whole structure, I just want everybody to know that like I did it. I was successful at that. And just, being able to look over at my wife and just at the end of the day and to be able to tell her every day on vacation, I had a great day with you. I'm having an amazing trip with you. All these positive things, right? We're not no negatives. Like, right? Like it's not one of those things. And like the biggest negative thing I think for the trip happened to be that we missed our pets while we were gone. And I mean, I think that's for anybody. You'll eventually get to that moment to where it's like, I really wish I could hug my cat, or I really wish I could, grab my dog and just really just give her some good scratches and let her lick me on the face and, give her that big old dog bear hug. And she's such an amazing dog. She's really good for my dad. We took her out to my dad's for the trip, so she got to go on vacation too. She didn't have to stay home. She loved that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and then the boys, we let the boys have the house. One boy got one side of the house, and the other boy got the other side of the house. So we were able to divide the house in half, basically, for them. Oh man, my neighbor. Thank my neighbor. He's an amazing person. He came over every day, twice a day, and fed my brats. Like that was because my boys are on a feeding schedule, or else they'll eat until they throw up. They're those types of cats, and I don't like picking up cat puke, and nobody else does. So I had to explain to my neighbor, like, it's either you're gonna be picking up cat puke when you come to check on them, or you're just gonna feed them once or twice a day. He was like, I'll go with the feeding twice a day. I was like, me too. I was like, that's how we decided, but so our boys get fed twice a day and stuff. So they're on a feeding schedule. So it was kind of funny. We would know because our security cameras would ding every time. And we bought security for the house. I have security for Web C Official's Fortress of Solitude. We have security now. So
Fortress of Gunpla.
Yeah, Fortress of Gunpla. And other weird robotics. So yeah, I just can't express to you like the coolness of the trip being so positive and so great and having so much fun. And it was really great, guys. Like being able to take the break from work and now coming back super refreshed and everything. Yeah, I feel like I'm happy to be back. Happy to be working, happy to be podcasting for you guys again and coming up with a whole bunch of cool things to talk about. I have been trying to get a hold of the team at Hellier because we're going to talk about what happened right before I went on my trip now. Are you ready for this? My wife got a visit from Injured Cold.
What?
Yes, I'm not joking. My wife got a visit from Injured Cold. So let's give it a little context, right?
Yeah.
When we first started the Late Night Load, we launched it off of this TV series known as Hellier. And the initiation into the show was green goblins and little green goblins in the caves of Kentucky, right?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and then it led into more things and more caves, and then it led into all sorts of weird things, and then they ended up getting to this character, a real life person, but at the same time a phenomenon type of a person.
Right.
His name is Injured Cold. In different parts of the country, he's known for different things. Down in Georgia, he is known as a man in black, men in black, whatever you want to call it. A man in black is what he's known as. He's basically the guy that showed up at your door after you saw a UFO and said, "You didn't see what you saw."
Yep.
Or
Look at here, little people.
From New Jersey to let's see, New Jersey, Virginia, West Virginia, and North Carolina, Injured Cold is the Mothman. And then up here in Minnesota and Wisconsin, he's known as the Smiling Man. And he has this big twisted up smile. I can't do it, so I'm not even going to try. But he has like this big twisted up smile where like his lips come up to here, and he's not like dangerous or anything. But he's a warning, or he's like a he brings you the knowledge that you need to keep your eyes open for what's coming next.
Premonition.
Yeah, he's like that. Whatever's happening next in your life is important. Keep your eyes open and pay attention to it and stuff. And so my wife, here's what happens. Anyways, my wife comes home one day and she's sitting down and she goes, this really strange thing happened to me. I was working in Hudson, Wisconsin, and I was on my way home. I said, wait, what? She's like, okay. She's working in Hudson, Wisconsin. Hudson, Wisconsin is the Wisconsin side of Stillwater, Minnesota. So Stillwater, Minnesota, and Hudson, they're like this, like they're two cities, but they're like this kind of, but they're right on the border, and there's a river that runs between them, and there's like 5 bridges that connect the two cities together and allows you to cross between Minnesota and Wisconsin. Right. So that's kind of the layout and everything. She is going over the bridge in Hudson to get back into Minnesota on Interstate 94 or something like that. 90 or 94. Depends on who you talk to. Anyways, so she's on there and she's coming back from Wisconsin to Minnesota, and she said she looked through her rearview mirror and she saw him sitting right behind her in the car. And it freaked her out, and she went to go look again and he was gone. And now she said he also comes into some of the stores and stuff. And I told her, I said, no, that's really funny you brought this up. And I pulled up on my phone, I pulled up a picture, and I said, is this what you saw? And she, like, her jaw dropped. She turned pale as a ghost. Her jaw dropped. She said, how did you know that's what I saw? And I told her, I said, I'm not sure, but I have a lot of knowledge of this person. And I said, basically, if you saw him where you saw him when you did, I said, he's warning you something. He's giving you a friendly warning or something. You may be having a supernatural encounter soon, UFOs, paranormal, something. He's just tapping you to let you know that it's an okay encounter. Whatever's going to happen to you is going to be okay. That's what he's here for. That's his newest purpose, is like, because he's been repurposed. But his newest purpose is to inform those people that are going to have an encounter of some sort that that's an okay encounter. They're going to be okay. They'll make it through. Nothing bad's going to happen, type of thing. That's his newest purpose, and he's always been that way. there's accounts of him actually speaking to people too, not just him showing up and showing himself. Like in Wisconsin, he'll pull his car out onto the road, and he'll either take a tire off or he'll open up his hood. And when you pull up to him, you'll start talking to him, and then you'll offer him help, and then he'll be like, "What car?" And his car disappears, and then he's just there, and he asks if you give him a ride, and if you give him a ride, he gets in your car, and as you drive away, he disappears. He's locked to something along the Stillwater, Minnesota, Hudson, Wisconsin border. That river, it's called the St. Croix River. I believe something has locked him to that geographical site. And so he has some sort of energy locked to that site, just like he has energy locked to the other 5 sites, the other 5 places he's been seen. He's still being reported as people seeing him there too. Now, remember, in Hellier, they confirmed he was dead. They confirmed him passing away. So whoever this spirit is, I don't know if it is actually him per se, but it's kind of one of those things that he's a manatee, an entity manifestation of his own. So I figured it'd be a great idea to share that with everybody. That my wife got that kind of a visit. That's a rare visit to get. So I told her, I said, you should count yourself lucky to get a visit from Injured Cold. I was like, that's damn cool. I feel like that's damn cool. She was like, oh, I don't know. I'm worried. I'm like, don't be worried. I was like, it's great. It's a great
thing. Famous name in the paranormal world that has brought, elevated consciousness, vision, and, incredible change to some people.
Right. So I tried to get a hold of, I got the yawns. I tried to get a hold of the team that did the Hellier series to let them know that Injured Cold has been spotted in Stillwater, Minnesota. Like, give them a heads up. Like, if they want to do any kind of follow up with why Stillwater, Minnesota is important, I give them a whole bunch of answers.
Right.
That river is spiritually charged. Like, every time I go over that river, I feel like a rush of energy has filled my tank to beyond full. Like, you ever come across something that's super spiritually energized, and when you come across it, you're just like, wow, like I feel the power of that energy coming in through me. And okay, so that's how I feel whenever I go by this river. I don't know if there's anything more to it, anything about it, but yeah, hey, that's my assumption. Now, when I go over the Mississippi River, I don't get those feelings. I don't get. And now that's a much larger river, much stronger river, and you would think, well, wouldn't the energies be higher from that river? I don't know. Maybe something happened at the St. Croix River, or maybe the St. Croix is on a stronger ley line or something. I'm not sure. You got to be one of those people to be sensitive to those things too. I'm not. I've never been super sensitive to ley lines. I've been to them. I've been to different ley lines and stuff, like the ones in Tennessee and Kentucky that are easy to get to. I've seen some of them. They're I'm not like spiritually connected to them like that. So that's an interesting thing. So for the river though, for me to get such an energy jump whenever I go over the St. Croix River, because there's a couple different places where I cross it. Like I cross it in the north, up in St. Croix, or you can cross it down by Hudson, or you can go down to a city called Rochester or whatever, and they have a crossing there for the St. Croix River. Because the St. Croix and the Mississippi kind of run like this until the St. Croix goes into the Mississippi. So it's like the Mississippi starts up here, and then the St. Croix starts down here a little more by Wisconsin or whatever, and then they kind of like by South Minnesota, they've crossed into each other or whatever. Because we've gone from the Mississippi into the St. Croix, and they have like levees and locks and stuff that you can go in to go up the St. Croix. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I'm just rambling on. You got your kitty.
Yeah,
Kitty,
she's
kitty, kitty.
tired. She's like, she's trying to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna cash this show out here. We are at the end of the show per se because we've been here for 2 hours. Leprechaun didn't show up tonight, so I'm gonna have to see what's going on with that guy.
See what happened to Leprechaun. Might have had a long day.
He might have. He just might not feel like talking. So I don't know. Yeah. But that is us for the day. We're at 2 hours. Thank you for stopping by. And once again, don't forget to head on over to ClarksvilleHobbyDepot.com. Use the code G_Syndicate10, and that'll let Scott know that we sent you to him. And with all that, you guys have a great night. Look at that. Kitty's doing beard scratches. Those are my favorite scratches. All right. You guys have a great night. We're going to get out of here. And
we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, I will see you tomorrow night for Friday Night Kit Bash, where I will show you some of the projects that I got going for the fall. All right.
To the late night
The late night load.
Welcome to the late night load. Late night load.